Yo guys, and as you can tell by the thumbnail and by the title of this video, I am back with another review, and this time it is the Raw After Night of Champions review. And let me just say this before I kick off with everything that happened on last night's Raw, is that unfortunately, due to SmackDown being a pre-recorded show, because Triple H and the WWE team want the wrestlers to have, and themselves to have, July 4th weekend off, spoilers are starting to happen on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. So I've already seen 2 spoilers. One of them a return. Don't worry, I'm not going to say anything to do with what I've seen, just in case you guys have not seen anything. But yeah, I've seen a return, and I've seen another segment that happens. So yeah, SmackDown is pretty much ruined already, and it's literally only been like a couple hours since I've been awake, and I've already had a massive spoiler. So yeah, like I'm glad that Triple H allows wrestlers to have time off, because it gives them time with their families, it gives them time with friends, it gives them time to go off and do something that they want to do that doesn't have to involve work. It gives them time to rest their bodies from wrestling, because it's hard work on their bodies. So I love that Triple H allows wrestlers to have time off, because when someone else was in charge of WWE, they were never allowed to have time off, ever. Even if they wanted to book time off, they struggled to get time off. So now Triple H allows wrestlers to have actually time off, where they're allowed to book holidays off with WWE, is amazing to be added to the WWE by Triple H for his wrestlers. Absolutely incredible that he's allowed them to do that, and it is now a thing in WWE. But the only negative of pre-recorded shows is that SmackDown and Raw has spoilers. So Raw and SmackDown, depending on which one's pre-recorded, it's very difficult to watch it and have my attention on it completely, because I already know what's going to happen. So that's the only negative I have about WWE pre-recording shows, but I'll take getting spoilers if it means that WWE wrestlers get to have time off, but it is very annoying. Anyways, let's talk about Raw last night, because we have to remember that this is the Raw After Night Champions, and normally Raw and SmackDown's after PLEs, they're normally pretty good, because they have storylines to come off the back of Night Champions. But this Raw was probably one of the worst Raws of the year for me personally. I don't know, this Raw just really felt like there was just barely any effort put into the majority of this Raw. I don't know, for me it just felt really like nothing, like barely anything happened. There was quite a few good bits that we'll get onto that I've added in my Raw review, but there's not really much to give, even with the segments that I've written down. So yeah, I did give Raw a 3 out of 5. I don't know if you can see that, it's here. But yeah, I did give Raw a 3 out of 5, because personally for me, I didn't really enjoy it that much. Yeah. Let's kick off with what happened on last night's Raw. We had a match. No, we didn't. That's not what I wanted to go first. I was reading the second thing. Rhea Ripley kicked off Monday Night Raw last night, and pretty much immediately Io Sky answered Rhea Ripley's call, and then like that made a match at Evolution between Rhea Ripley and Evolution for the Women's World Championship. Like that. It was a very quick segment, so that segment wasn't great. It was way too quick. I was expecting somebody else to come out and say, no, I want a match against Io Sky, but no one came out. So it was literally just made official that Rhea Ripley's going to face Io Sky at Evolution. I'll predict right now, even though this obviously isn't a prediction video, an official prediction, because we'll get onto a prediction video next week, because Evolution is literally next Sunday, which is crazy. I am going to predict that Rhea Ripley does beat Io Sky for the Women's World Championship, and we get Rhea Ripley versus Stephanie Vaquer at Clash in Paris, because I think that another match that was made for Evolution, because we'll talk about all the Evolution matches, is we're going to be having a women's battle royale, and the winner will go on to face a champion of their choice at Clash in Paris. And I can guarantee you, Stephanie Vaquer is going to win that, and she's going to go on to Clash in Paris to face Rhea Ripley, and we're going to get that dream match that everybody's been wanting because of their slight little interaction that they had on that Monday Night Raw that time. So I'm going to say it now that we'll get a rematch at SummerSlam between Io and Rhea, but Rhea will be the champion this time going into SummerSlam, and then at Clash in Paris she'll go on to have a storyline for the next 3 weeks with Stephanie Vaquer to face Stephanie at Clash in Paris. So yeah, that's what I see happening 100%. But yeah, so that's 2 matches for Evolution. The third match that was made official for Evolution is that Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez are officially the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, and the Evolution, they will defend those tag team championships to see if they actually are a good tag team against a women's tag team from NXT, a women's tag team from SmackDown, and a women's tag team from Monday Night Raw. My prediction for the tag teams, I'm going to go with Zahara, Zalruka and Zahara, I don't know how to say her name, but her, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, who I do believe are going to beat Raquel and Roxanne. And I'll go for Monday Night Raw. I can't think of anyone apart from Asuka and Kairi Sane, so they're the 3 tag teams that I believe are going to face Raquel and Roxanne at Evolution. So we've got 3 banging matches right there that I'm excited for. We've got the Battle Royale, we've got a Women's Battle Royale, which is amazing. We've got Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. We've got a Fatal 4-Way for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And we've also got Jordan Grace versus JC Jane for the NXT Championship. There's probably going to be another match made official. Maybe Lara Valkyria versus Bayley versus Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental Championship. But I'm kind of hoping they leave that for SummerSlam, but I can definitely see them making that official next Monday night. Oh, it's my fucking chair that made that squeaky noise. That made me jump. I can definitely see them make it official. Hang on, guys. So yeah, like I was saying, I can definitely see them making Bayley versus Lara Valkyria versus Becky Lynch official for Evolution on Sunday. I'm kind of hoping that they don't make it official for Evolution and they make it official for SummerSlam, but I just can't see that happening because it ended in a draw. They're both going to say that they deserve a championship next week on Monday Night Raw, and then Adam Pearce will make it official for Evolution, and that will be the 5th match. But we've got one from NXT, one from Raw, and then we've got a multiple one from Raw, NXT and SmackDown, and a multiple one from Raw, NXT and SmackDown. So I feel like we need another SmackDown match. So I'm kind of hoping that doesn't become official. But I don't know. But yeah, so that's the Evolution card so far. And then we had a match between the Judgment Day versus the New Day for the World Tag Team Championship. And of course, as soon as they made the announcement that Judgment Day were going to face the New Day for the World Tag Team Championships, I knew immediately that the Judgment Day were winning. So I watched the match, but my attention span to the match was at quite a low because I just knew from the start of the match that the Judgment Day were winning, because for some reason WWE absolutely love the Judgment Day to have the World Tag Team Championships and then they just never defend them. Because I know the New Day haven't really defended theirs, but I feel like they've defended their championship 3 times since they've won at WrestleMania. Judgment Day seem to do it about 3 times a year, so they've defended theirs more in 2 months than Judgment Day did in their whole reign. So it just, I don't know why it's constantly always the Judgment Day, the World Tag Team Championships. They might as well just call it the Judgment Day division, because it literally is just the Judgment Day, the Tag Team Champions, and then they have no one to defend their championships again. Don't get this, because we literally have American Made, who are always doing segments with El Grande Americano, so they don't really get involved in anything. They're just backstage segments all the time. We have A-Town Down, that are not even a tag team at the moment. We have the New Day, that have obviously just lost their championships, and then we have the War Raiders. And that's it. That's literally it, because Otis has apparently been released from WWE, so I could see Akira being on the release bandwagon soon. But yeah, so we literally have 4 tag teams on Raw, that's it, and half of them are terrible, so yeah, I'm just the Creed Brothers are absolutely fucking amazing, but they've got no one to defend the tag teams against, because literally this is the Judgment Day, I guess, is a 5th tag team, that's it. There's 5 tag teams and they're all just so boring. Oh, I don't know, man. But yeah, the Judgment Day are our new World Tag Team Championships, and now the whole of Judgment Day are champions. We've got JD and Finn as the Tag Team Champions, Dominic Mysterio as the Intercontinental, and then we've got Raquel and Roxanne as the Women's Tag Team Champions. So the whole of Judgment Day are champions now. It was a very good match from what I've watched of it, but yeah, my attention span to the match wasn't great because I already knew that Judgment Day were winning it. But yeah. And then we had a backstage segment, as I was just speaking about him a second ago. We had a backstage segment with the Creed Brothers and Ivy Nile, because Chad Gable is injured. We had an appearance by El Grande, Joe Americano, because if you heard what I said there, it is Ludwig Kaiser. I think this is the most obvious that it's ever been of it being somebody else and not Chad Gable. I think this is even more obvious that it is Ludwig Kaiser that is replacing Chad Gable as Andrade Americana, and I will take it, because that means that Chad Gable, no, that means Ludwig is going to be on Raw more. That means that he's going to have matches. That means he's going to have wins. So it's a win-win for Ludwig Kaiser and just people that like watching Ludwig in the ring, because he's fucking incredible in the ring. So I'm glad that he's getting the opportunity to be a Grande Americano. So yeah, I'm very happy about that. But yeah, that was so fucking hilarious when he walked in, because he's so fucking tall compared to Chad Gable, and it's just, yeah, it's so obvious who it is. But it was quite a funny segment, so I had to include it in the Raw review. And then we had an absolute banger. We already knew this was going to be an absolute banger, because the banger man himself, Sheamus, was involved in this match against Rusev, and this was 100% match of the night, because what an absolute 4-star classic. I wouldn't say 5-star, but that's 10, but you know, 5-star classic. One absolute 4-star classic by Rusev and Sheamus in that match last night on Monday Night Raw. Absolutely incredible. We had loads of near falls, we had signatures, we had finishers, we had stuff happening outside of the ring. It was just absolutely incredible to watch, and my attention span to that match was fully on the match, and that's what you need in WWE. But yeah, a lot of matches last night, my attention span was just, because it was just, I don't know, Raw, there was something about Raw last night that I couldn't get into it. It just felt really like no one wanted to be there, sort of thing. I don't know, there was just a weird energy about it. It just felt really like everyone was just on the go slow and just didn't want to be there. It was just really weird, that Raw last night. It just didn't feel great. It just didn't feel like a Raw show. It felt more like a SmackDown show than it did a Raw show last night. But anyway, Sheamus and Rusev made Raw good last night by having an absolute classic, 4-star classic, an absolute banger of a match. So I'm very happy that was creatively booked very, very well, because it 100% was. I've already spoken about Raquel and Roxanne having to defend their tag team championships at Evolution against NXT, Raw and SmackDown tag team, women's tag team. So that's going to be very interesting to see who the 3 tag teams are. But like I said, I'll say it again, but I do believe that it will be Zahara, I never know how to pronounce her name, and Zorica versus Asuka and Kairi Sane from Raw. They're from NXT, so it's Ruka and Zara, and then Alexa and Charlotte from SmackDown, and then obviously Raquel and Roxanne as a women's tag team championships. Can definitely see that happening, and Alexa and Charlotte picking up the victory. And then we had a in-ring segment about from Gunther saying that he is going to destroy Bill Goldberg's career, and it's going to be as quick as that video package that was shown beforehand in under 3 minutes. It was a very good segment by Gunther, because I'm definitely Team Gunther in this whole match against Goldberg, because I don't like him. He's terrible, he bores me. What's the point of having 3-minute matches? It's pointless. There's nothing about him I like. So I'm definitely Team Gunther when it comes to who's winning. But it is happening on the same night as AEW's All In pay-per-view, which is literally AEW's WrestleMania. So there is absolute classic and banging matches that are happening on All In. So I will not be watching Saturday night's main event. I've already said this before, but I'll be saying it every time. I will be watching, well, I say that I won't be watching it, but I will. I'll be watching Saturday night's main event on my phone, but I will not be watching it on the big screen. I'll be watching AEW on the big screen, but I'll also be watching WWE on my phone, so I am going to be watching both, so it's going to be a bit weird to watch both. Yeah, we did have a match. Before I get into what happened during the segment, we did have another match official for Saturday night's main event, and that is Seth Rollins versus LA Knight. I knew that was going to happen at Saturday night main event. I said it in one of my, either my Night of Champions prediction, or I said it in the Raw that happened at, or SmackDown that happened at, either or review, that they weren't going to do LA Knight versus Seth Rollins at the Saudi Arabia show, Night of Champions. They will leave it until Saturday night's main event, and there we go. It was made official last night that Seth Rollins will go one-on-one with LA Knight at Saturday night's main event. I won't say who the match is, but there was another match made official on SmackDown. The spoiler was that is happening at the Saturday night's main event. So we have 3 matches now official for Saturday night's main event. The third match, I'm really confused of why things happened the way it did on that SmackDown last night, and why they're suddenly having a match at Saturday night's main event. But when SmackDown actually happens, we will know a bit more info on why said person is having a match with a said person. So yeah, a bit of a weird one, but we'll have to wait until SmackDown. Hopefully I get no more spoilers. But yeah, anyways, Seth Rollins came out because Gunther said what's next for me after his match with Goldberg, and obviously Seth Rollins is the Money in the Bank holder, so he came out to warn Gunther that he is. And then he said something about costing CM Punk. He said, he said, as long as I'm breathing, as long as there's air in my lungs, CM Punk will not be champion. And that's exactly what happened at Night Champions. He stopped CM Punk from becoming WWE champion. CM Punk's music hit. Seth and Punk had a mini brawl, not a very long brawl, surprisingly. They had a mini brawl. Seth escaped through the crowd. CM Punk's like shouting stuff at him, and then from behind, LA Knight walked behind Seth Rollins with popcorn. Seth Rollins turned around, LA Knight threw the popcorn in his face, and then Seth and LA had a very, very good brawl, very enjoyable. Better brawl than Punk and Seth's brawl, because it was very short, surprisingly, which is really weird. I wasn't expecting it to be as short as it was, but yeah, they started brawling, and then because CM Punk interrupted the segment between Seth and Gunther, as CM Punk was walking out, Gunther grabbed CM Punk's arm, and then Punk pushed Gunther, and Gunther fell to the mat, and he just looked at him like, didn't look at him angry, he looked at him shocked, like, what? And then Punk stormed like as fast as he could out of the arena. And we did have a backstage segment between LA and CM Punk. CM Punk saying to LA that Seth is mine, so leave him alone, pretty much, that he's mine. But they're making it even more. Like, CM Punk just made it even more official that them two were like boyfriend and boyfriend at this point, because they don't leave each other alone. Like, they really do not leave each other alone. Like, it's actually getting a bit crazy that it's been almost 2 years since Seth and Punk had a rivalry. Because it'll be 2 years in at the end of November, and we're in July. It's not long until November, and these two are still having a rivalry, and it's crazy to me. So I'm hoping, actually I won't get on to that, because I am going to be doing it, as I will let you guys know now. I am going to be doing, literally straight after this, I filmed this video and uploaded this video, I am going to be doing a SummerSlam PLE early prediction video for July, because it is July 1st today, and like I say in my June one, that I will be making a video on July 1st on my early July SummerSlam predictions, and it will be my official last SummerSlam prediction video before the card starts to come official in the next coming weeks. So that will be filmed today, as you're watching this one, but it will be out tomorrow. So it won't be out today, but it will be out tomorrow on the 2nd of July. But yeah, it is getting filmed on the 1st. But yeah, so I won't get too much onto what I was going to say. But yeah, it was a really enjoyable segment. We've gone for Seth, LA and Punk. Do feel that Punk and Seth should have brought a little bit longer, but other than that, that's the only negative I have to say about this whole segment. But other than that, a really enjoyable segment to watch. And then we had a match between Bayley and Lara Valkyria, and the winner would go on to face but the winner would go on to face Becky Lynch some point down the line. They didn't officially say at Evolution or at SummerSlam, so they just said down the line. But now that it ended in a draw, I can definitely see some tension happening backstage with one another, and then both believing that they deserve an opportunity at the Intercontinental Championship, and then it ends up being made official for Evolution, Bayley versus Lara versus Becky Lynch at Evolution. I'm kind of hoping that doesn't happen, but it will be. It will. That will be the 5th match that will be at Evolution. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'll definitely be the 5th match, because obviously we've got like 30, I think at Battle Royal was about 30 people, and it was about 20? No, I think it's about 20 actually. We'll have 20 women as part of this Battle Royale, so we've got a lot of women that's going to be a part of the Battle Royale, so we need another match for, we need a 5th match, because at the moment we have 4 official matches. We need a 5th. And the only match that I can think of that makes sense, unless they go with Zelina Vega versus Julia for the United States Championship in her rematch, then that would make sense. That could possibly be a possibility actually, that gets made official for Evolution. Zelina gets her rematch against Julia at Evolution. Yeah, that could be a possibility. And then maybe on Monday Night Raw next week they make it official for SummerSlam, and then they can have a 4 week feud with one another, ready for SummerSlam. So that could be a possibility actually, and I'm kind of hoping, because yeah, I'm just hoping that it happens at SummerSlam, the triple threat between Bayley, Lara and Becky, not Evolution. But I don't know, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens on SmackDown this week, even though it's already happened, and what happens on Monday Night Raw next week. But yeah, the main event of the night was Sami Zayn and Penta versus Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker, or the Brons as CM Punk calls them. And yeah, a fantastic main event. There's not anything negative to say about this main event actually, to be fair. No, there isn't actually anything negative. I did think that when Carrion Cross took out Sami Zayn earlier on in the night, I did think that either LA Knight was going to replace Sami Zayn, or CM Punk was going to replace Sami Zayn. But Sami Zayn, being the trooper he is and being Sami Zayn, he just done the match anyways, and yeah, he done the smooth operator, the Penta walk, as I should say, with Penta, which was absolutely hilarious. And then they done obviously the dive out. That is the chair, not me, I promise. That is they done the dive outside to the ring to Bron and Bron Breakker. No, Bronson and Bron Breakker, sorry, not Bron and Bron Breakker, what the hell. But yeah, no, fantastic tag team match. I'm glad that we got no interferences during the tag team match. I'm glad it was just a tag team match between Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed versus Sami Zayn and Penta. But yeah, a very good main event. Bron, the Brons, did end up picking up the victory against Penta and Sami Zayn. They started beating down Sami and Penta after the match. Jey Uso came out to make the save to help Sami and Penta by hitting Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed with a steel chair, and that was the end of Raw. I can definitely see them doing Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed versus Penta, Jey Uso and Sami Zayn next Monday on Monday Night Raw, and that's when like LA Knight gets involved, because Seth's team will win and they'll just start beating down Jey's, Penta and Sami, and that's when LA Knight will come out to help Penta, Sami and Jey. So yeah, I can definitely see that happening, because obviously Saturday Night's main event is literally next Saturday, which is kind of crazy because Evolution has 4 official matches for Evolution on next Sunday. The 5th match will either be Zelina Vega versus Julia for the United States Championship, or it will be Bayley versus Lara Carey versus Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental. That will be the 5th match. Can't see there being anything else, unless they do Naomi versus Bianca Belair in the 5th match. That's a possibility. And then for Saturday Night's main event, we only have we have 3 matches official, sorry, because obviously a match was made official on SmackDown last night. Apparently, I don't know how true that is, but I think it is very on the more truth than it is a lie. So yeah, I think that is official. So there is 3 matches made official for Saturday Night's main event, and that is obviously Shitbird versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship, LA Knight versus Seth Rollins, and this 3rd match. But yeah, there's only 3 matches made, so I don't know what else is going to happen at Saturday Night's main event. Yeah, I really don't know. Maybe Punk and maybe they do Punk and LA Knight versus not LA Knight, sorry, he's already in a match. They can't do Punk and Sami versus Punk and Penta. Maybe they do Punk and Penta versus Bron and Bron Breakker. That would be a sick match for people to want to go and see. Punk and Penta teaming up with one another to face Bron and Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker. That's a possibility for that being the 4th match, and I'd be so down for that if that is the 4th match. But the 5th match, I don't know. But yeah, guys, that is the end of my Raw review. I hope you enjoyed it. Do you agree with me in thinking that this Raw was a 3 out of 5, or do you believe it was even worse and it was a 2 out of 5, or it was absolutely terrible and you'll never ever watch this Raw again, and was a 1 out of 5, won't even watch the highlights either, or do you believe that it was better than a 3 out of 5, not quite a 5, but you felt it was good, so you gave it a 4 out of 5, or do you actually believe that this was one of the best Raws that you've ever watched and it was a 5 out of 5? Let me know in the questions down below. But yeah, anyways guys, like I said, I am straight away going to film my last official early predictions for SummerSlam in August next month. Can't believe it's literally August next month already. That's absolutely crazy. But yeah, anyways guys, it's been Charlie, and I will see you guys in this SummerSlam early prediction video tomorrow. Peace.